Because I always tell the story about when we got our black belts, how you just kind of dipped in and then you kind of dipped out,
Yeah,
right?
I
But
do
I
that.
saw you though,
Right,
and I had no idea I was getting my black belt that day.
right.
No clue. And when I walked into the locker room, one of the guys was like, I was like, man, I'm saying to the other guys, I'm so excited for Claudio. I'm so excited. He's like, dude, you know you're getting your black belt today. I said, what? I said, what? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah. He's like, bro, you're getting your black belt today. I said, you're serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. I said, I thought it was like these guys, like a couple
Right,
of these guys. I
right.
was like, any belt I got, I never expected a belt because it
Uh-huh.
wasn't the reason for me training.
Right.
Right. I'm like, if I get it, I get it. And when he said that, I just remember going to the bathroom for a second and just sitting there like, holy shit. Like I'm getting a black belt today.
Yeah.
And then when you came in, it's like full circle. Because you're the first black belt I ever trained with.
Mm.
I ever rolled with ever when we used to go to the city.
Right.
So you're the first black belt I ever like the first person that ever looked at me because usually black belts back then they look at white belts like I don't want to get hurt. This guy might be crazy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Some of these
yeah.
guys think that way. You were like, come on.
Those days are so far out of my
Yeah,
like kind of out of my consciousness.
yeah,
And I'm grateful for those stories.
yeah,
I'm grateful for the thank you, Walter, for those experiences and like it's when people bring it up, it's like, wait, what did I
yeah,
do?
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
there's multiple stories, Gene. Like
yeah,
I knew about you because of George
right,
Cernak. So George was like telling me, calling you Judo Gene.
right.
Like, oh, Judo Gene is
Right.
like, wait till you see him. Wait till I bring you down to the city. And then when as soon as he said Judo Gene, I'm like, damn, I see he's a black belt jiu-jitsu and he's freaking a black belt and all this other shit. I'm like, damn. And I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get a chance because George was a purple belt at the time.
Right,
He had his own school as a purple belt, which is
right.
like
That's
unheard
right.
of now. So when we went down there and I saw color, I saw like brown belts and black belts.
Yeah.
It was just like seeing an urban legend. It's
Uh,
like I didn't know these. I said I didn't know these cats existed.
yeah,
And then you rolled me a bunch of times when I was a white belt, and
yeah.
through the course of me getting a white belt, blue belt. And I told you the story before, but when I got my purple belt, I rolled with you one day, and I rolled with you, and I didn't think I did shit. I thought I was like, I'm like a turtle, like I'm just trying my best. And after the roll, you're like, "Hey, good roll."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, yeah." Like just like thinking that you're joking around. You looked at me. You said, "No, good roll."
Yeah.
Like you like affirmed it. Like
Yeah.
no, like I'm not
Yeah.
bullshitting you.
Right.
It was a good roll. Accept
Right.
it.
Right.
Take this compliment.
Right.
I never forgot that.
Yeah.
I never forgot. And when we're going on the path train. Now I'm lighter. I'm like, oh man, Gene said I had a good roll. I think to myself like,
Yeah.
Gene thought I said I had a good roll, and that just stayed with me. And like I roll with every white belt in our school, every blue belt in our school,
Very good.
every because.
They need that.
But you have to understand, like you set the tone for me of how a black belt conducts himself.
Thank you.
So when you set that tone for me, and I was never an asshole, but when you set that tone, like I'll roll with you,
Yeah,
white
it's
belt.
permission.
When guys come in, I'm like, come, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, please come on. And they're like, thank you for showing me. I said, you have to understand, it's happened to me. Only thing I ask you, if you continue this journey, throw that back.
That's right.
Right? Don't get that black belt and start acting out of your character.
That's right.
Right? Make
Or
sure you
what
throw
you
that back.
learned,
You know,
you know? Yeah,
do what you
yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
So I never, there's multiple, and I tell that story a lot when I talk to jiu-jitsu guys. It's like, I had a black belt show me how to carry his belt. Right? Like, that's why I carry my belt that way. Because it's like, man, Cornell, you roll everybody. I'm like, I had a guy.
That's right.
So be that guy when you get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Just to kind of give some perspective on that, like that was born out of me falling into like when I came to jiu-jitsu, the Gracies were, and George is very responsible for a lot of this. Like my friend Tom and I, we talk in great deal about George and how we love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we ever talked about this, but he defended the Gracie challenge. Like he had guys come into his school and challenge him.
I never talked about
Oh yeah, and he like there's a video of George like like handing some karate or taekwondo guy his ass. And my generation, there were lots of people that came in to to try to like dispel the Gracie myth or mystique or whatever it was. And he was one of those guys, but who like, I don't know, like there's no context for it anymore, but there's a generation of people that the Gracies used, and it promoted like this generation of guys to establish the Gracie name, to establish jujitsu in the country. He certainly was one of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, my interaction with you was born out of, I fell prey to this, this kind of like bullyish mentality of the first generation. Like we were encouraged to break guys, you know, and it was encouraged and promoted, and so like I was such an insecure younger male, that like it went without question for me. And when I started to realize that wasn't the way, I had to do like a 360. I had to do an about face. And in some ways, like, you know, you weren't my penance. You were a gift to me, to you, and the metaphor of young or new people coming in were like a gift to me to kind of make my penance, like to really make good on all of the stuff that I did that, you know, wasn't necessary for me to go that route. I could have done it better. And when you say these things to me, like it's very meaningful, because I don't like being like there were for a long time guys that, you know, heard about me that would like sort of, they would like to talk about the glory days of and I don't want, like, I'm embarrassed by that. Even though like jujitsu, the reason it is what it is because of those times, in a way. And there's a beautiful art. It is a beautiful art. But I'd much rather have conversations about the productive nature of the practice than the destructive nature of the practice. And so I'm very grateful for it and what you say. And thank you for, you know, still acknowledging that and still keeping that kind of flame alive.
Well, it's I'll never forget it. And it's like I just got my 3rd degree last year.
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you, brother. So it's like I can't believe that I've been a black belt for 9 years. Like, it's like, to me, I still feel I remember when I got my blue belt. I remember when the first class. All that journey is like yesterday. My kids train, right? So it's like, for me, teaching my kids how to train, right? And teaching my kids that you're gonna be the nail a lot. You're gonna be the nail so much. And when you have your kids and you see them like in a pretzel type situation where it's like, holy shit. Like, I'm looking at my daughter, I'm looking at him like she's going with some big, you know, bigger girl, and the girl's on top of the mountain. My daughter's trying to figure it out, and I can see the mind going. And we get into the car and I say, look, understand something. Eventually, you're gonna realize how to technique your way out of that. Right? And I was like, and when you do, you're gonna see, oh man, I could have did this before. But like when you're in that stressful situation, the beauty about jiu-jitsu is you have to calm your mind down and start thinking.
And you can't rescue her.
Can't
you'll rob her of that lesson. You have to sit there, and as hard as it is,
eat it. Just eat it.
Yeah.
I'm watching my son and my daughter. I'm just like, they're 11 and 9, right? Bryce is 11, 9 is 9. And I'm watching them. It's not like soccer and basketball.
Hell no.
Right? It's like you're not getting choked out when you're shooting a jump shot, right? Like, but
Walter's a basketball guy.
That's my guy. That's why I liked him immediately. I felt it. But it's like when you see your kid being in the situation where it's like, okay, that arm bar is on tight, or that choke is on tight, and you see them fight. Like, my son was going with a kid who's a really big kid, strong kid, and he had my son in the rear naked choke, and Bryce is protecting, his chin's down, and eventually the kid's getting it. But he's fighting. I could tell he's fighting, and he's trying to think it through, and the kid eventually gets him. I said, the beauty of jiu-jitsu is you slap hands, you go again. Right? So, but you fought it. Like, you fought it. And not like fought it like, I'm not going to tap. You fought it like, how do I technique my way out of this? I said, Daddy still gets caught. I said, Daddy's not the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world. Daddy's not the best jiu-jitsu guy in this county. I said, you're fighting through it and you're problem solving.
See, I think that's the magic of jiu-jitsu. Not that, well, yes, to echo your point, where like you get to slap hands and go again. but you get to know yourself differently
Mhm.
every time you go. Like if you I remember like I remember the first time I went to South Jersey when Craig Kukuk was teaching in the
Mhm.
firehouse,
Mhm.
they would lay down mats, right? And I was 25,
Mhm.
26. I was still somewhat competing. I'm 2 years off of going to the worlds,
Yeah.
beating the world champion, um, being six-time national champion, like, and this, like, 15-year-old kid who, like, had a couple of judo lessons and maybe wrestled a little
Mhm.
bit, strangled me, and, I was like I felt claustrophobic,
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like and then to kind of work through all those points gave me a sense of self
Yeah.
that I never had, and that to me is like, when you're children and when we understand ourselves to be bigger
Yeah.
and more intelligent and more like we have more conviction
Mhm.
and more fortitude and all of these such important points than we ever
Yeah.
realized. That's the thing.
That's the
Like
thing.
you just identify differently to your own self.
Yep.
We look at ourselves in the mirror
Mhm.
quite differently,
Sure.
you know?
And the mats show you who you are. And it's a mirror. The mats show you who you are. 'Cause you've seen it. You get this big, tough muscle guy,
Yeah,
and right,
yeah,
and he's used to being on top and not being in
yeah,
a situation where he's on his back.
yeah.
And as soon as he gets on his back,
Yeah, yeah,
off like a little bit of pressure or
I know,
something,
just a little bit,
like,
like
"Oh, you're the bully. Oh,
yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
Alright."
yeah.
You like being in advantage situations, not disadvantage
That's
situations.
right, you're used to
You're
it.
used to it.
Yeah,
So then when you
you've
get
lived your life that way.
I never forget George goes, there's this big dude that comes in and, he wants to try a class. And so I wanna say I'm a purple belt at the
Uh-huh,
time, and we're at the old school, and George is like, "Hey, Cornell, we got this big guy that wants to come in." He's like, "Train with him. I'm gonna let you train with him because he's big. He's a nice guy, but he just doesn't know his strength." And
right.
he's like, the little guys, I don't want him to hurt anybody."
Yeah.
I said, "George, no problem." I said, "This is great." So he's like, "Hey, man, my name's Mike." I'm like, "Hey, Mike, what's up,
You
Cornell?"
remember his
Chilling,
name,
like,
right?
yeah, I'm like chilling with him. So I dap
Uh,
him up. He's like, "I don't know this stuff, but I said, "Hey, no problem, brother." I said,
I
let's just
got you.
train. I got you." So 4 seconds in, I just put him in my guard. 4 seconds in, he's trying to lift me and stuff. He can't. And then I just roll him over.
Yeah,
And then I like just base one hand out. I'm not even going for the submission. I'm just base one hand out. And he's trying to bench press me. And I'm just falling right back on his chest.
yeah, yeah,
And
sure.
then after like 15 seconds, he's like, breathing heavy. And I'm like, Mike, I said, you see I'm not breathing heavy at all? He goes, yeah. He's like, "Oh, you must be in great shape." I said, "I'm just chilling, bro." I said, "You're using all your strength."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, "This is what jujitsu is not." I said, "You use your strength in spurts, right? Like it's not devoid of strength. You
no,
use strength,
certainly not.
but I was like, but you're using all of it, right? Like you're in a bar fight." I said,
Yeah,
"This ain't the double deuce." You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta relax. And me and him talked, and it's like we rolled again, and I was like, "Give me inside control or whatever." And he's
yeah,
like, "Man, you're making it." I was like, "Understand something. I was you a million times,
right,
and that feeling of claustrophobia."
yeah,
We had a guy that trained in the city. Jack was awesome guy, but he was a blue belt. I was a white belt. Big dude. This is before the rash guard. The dude had a
yeah,
big hairy chest.
yeah,
He gave me inside control, and I felt like I was like dying.
yeah,
I felt like like someone's putting plastic over my head and wrapping it.
yeah, yeah,
I felt like I
furry
couldn't breathe.
plastic.
Yeah, furry plastic, taco meat plastic.
Taco meat.
So I'm like, I'm going home picking shit out of my teeth.
Right, right,
Like
right, right, right,
this is. I
right.
just roll with Magnum PI,
So
right?
true.
Like, what's going on?
Right,
So I gotta
right.
learn how to get out of this shit. If
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
I'm gonna be picking hair out my teeth every Friday night.
Yeah, what like a lot of people would enter that situation and come out and go, "I'm never going back."
Yeah,
Like, what had you go like, "I gotta master this
yeah.
thing." Like, what was that?
My mom made me crazy. So my mom
Huh,
she's just
fascinating.
she's a worker. Like she's a like my dad passed when I was really young. When I
Yeah,
was 4, he was cop mistake, passed when I
yeah,
was young.
right,
My mom raised 5 of us by herself,
right.
right? My brother was on the spectrum. One of my brothers on the spectrum. So I never see my mom quit anything. Ever. Like ever. Like despite knowing that she might go in the room and cry to herself,
Yeah,
I've never seen her shed a tear in front of us in terms of an adverse situation.
yeah,
So I have that in me, and just not her preaching to me, not her saying, "You gotta do this," just by watching
watching her.
and saying, "Okay, this is what you have to do to make it through things." So I've always had that in me, like, I gotta make it through this.
What is the thing that that helps you make it through things? Because like there's a lot of young people in the school
Yeah.
that like I can see them. They're one class away from quitting,
Yeah.
and they don't have like what is the thing?
Yeah. I remember the adversity that I've been through, and I use that for the next adverse situation. So, like, take it in terms of jujitsu, right? I've already got through a year class. Now I might have a hard day, but I got through 365 hard days before. This is just 366,
Uh-huh.
right? So every new adverse situation that comes up, it doesn't matter if it looks different.
Yeah.
I remember the ones that I've been through.
Uh-huh.
So since I was 4,
Yeah,
I've
right,
been through
right,
all
right,
these
right,
situations.
right.
And then I'm getting to a class where this guy, just because he has a big hairy chest,
Magnum
he's
PI.
Magnum PI, just because Selleck has me in side control,
Yeah.
that's not gonna make me quit. That competitive nature in me and that like curiosity in me, I wanna figure out what I need to do so that doesn't happen again. Right? I'm very curious about like, well, how do you do that? How did you keep me down against my will?
Mhm.
And I'm a, former athlete and I think I'm pretty strong,
Mhm.
and you did it pretty easily.
Mhm.
So like that competitive nature plus the fact that this isn't life or death. This is just another adverse thing. And I think kids these days, everything is life or death. They jump to the extreme of every adverse situation.
Mhm.
I go into a lot of schools and speak.
Mhm.
Some of the questions I get, Gene, would break your heart. Some of the
Mhm.
questions I get, Mr. Thomas, this is in front of all their peers. Yeah. What do you do when you have suicidal thoughts? These are middle school kids, some of them,
Yeah, man.
12 years old. I'm like, what makes you think that because a kid's bullying you online or a kid says something to you or you fail a test or whatever, what makes you think that there's no other options except for going to the extreme end of things?
Mhm.
Back in the days when they talked about kids taking their own lives, it had a certain look. Oh, this was the loner that, didn't talk to anybody. Now it's the valedictorian. It's the head cheerleader.
Right.
It doesn't have a look. It's
Right.
anybody,
Right.
right? So to your point, these kids jump from 0 to 100 instead of 0 to 30. Okay, well, this sucks, but this isn't life or death. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I can get through this. I can
Uh-huh.
navigate this. And I
Uh-huh.
think it's just having the skills to navigate. My mom gave me the skills to navigate,
Yeah.
right? So,
What
just by watching her.
and so again, like what's one of the skills?
Yeah. Look, one is
Well,
assessing the situation.
assessing, right?
The first thing for
Right,
me is,
right,
and
right,
even
right.
as an adult, assess. I tell my kids all the time, assess it, right? So when it comes to, I'll just say schools for right now. When it comes to the school, right? I tell my son and my daughter, assess the situation. 2, what's the source? What's the source? Someone said something to you at school. What's the source? Is it someone that loves you? Is it someone that you love?
Mhm.
99.9% of the time, it's no,
No.
right? So why would you worry about that source?
Right.
Okay. 3, how long are you gonna let it affect your day? And I'll just sit there and be like, I'll wait. How long are you gonna let this person that means nothing to you, you mean nothing to them? How long does it let you affect your day? And 4, how much time you think you have left?
Mhm.
I think about this all the time. Like,
Right.
how much time do you literally think you have left? We are renters. We're here for such a short time.
Mhm.
You're gonna waste it on somebody's words or somebody's like negative actions about you or whatever. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You can't get it back.
Yeah.
Right? There's no getting it back. Doesn't matter what technology comes out in our lifetime. There's no getting that time back. That moment is that moment, and the moment is over.
Mhm.
And so I've been having this conversation with my kids since they were 2, 3 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And I told my son yesterday. So we drove back from jujitsu. He was not feeling great. I said, we're gonna go anyway. Not like you're not gonna get anybody sick. You're not feeling good. I get it. But this morning we were talking, joking around a little bit. We're gonna go to jujitsu. And I'm teaching the class, right? So I look at his face. We're doing a little bit of a warm up, and I can see his face start to break down a little bit. Like, he's not nothing against it, but he's not a crier kid.
Right.
He doesn't cry. So I'm looking at him. He looks like he's about to break down. He goes, I can't breathe. Now, when you say you can't breathe and you start hyperventilating yourself, now you definitely can't breathe,
Right.
right? Instead of being calm, taking a deep breath, sitting down, coming out, taking a second.
Mhm.
I knew his throat was bothering him, so I said, get off the mat, go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
He gets off the mat. He comes, sits down. A woman comes out and she gives him some water. He's drinking water. My son never sits out, anything. He's just sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. And then 10 minutes go by. He's fine now. 10 minutes go by. I look at him, I say, are you going to come back to class?
Mhm.
And can I come back to class? Yeah. But you had to get my invitation. Fast forward to today. Now, that happened Saturday. This is Sunday. We have basketball. He's still not feeling great, still under the weather.
Mhm.
We're doing a couple hard drills. He's been going for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. He goes, Dad, I'm having a hard time breathing. I said, get a drink of water. He goes, he asked me, can I get a drink? I said, yeah. He gets a drink of water. He goes, I see him on the side, on the corner of my eye. He goes, he runs back. He goes, Coach, can I get back in the drill?
Mhm.
I said, yes, you can.
Yeah, nice.
Not Dad. Coach, can
Yeah,
I get back in
yeah,
the drill?
yeah.
He gets right back into the drill.
I say in the classroom, like, I I hope, like, in the karate class, I say inevitably, you're gonna bump into something that's holding you back.
Mm.
Like, like, you're eventually gonna bump into the thing, if you're doing martial arts the right way,
Yeah.
that's it's gonna be so abrupt that you're gonna have to face it, and you
Mhm.
got a choice. You either crumble or
Mhm.
you work it out.
Mhm.
And we say in the school, like, you don't leave your problems at the door, you bring your problems with you.
Mm.
The mat is the place where you work through those things.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about this, like, and I think this is also the beauty of jujitsu martial arts is that there is no ceiling to it. So, and I think it echoes your point exactly. Like, it's not a one and done thing. Like, you bump into the thing in that moment that is perplexing to you or foreign to you. And as you get higher and higher and higher, that thing is the presentation of the thing will change.
Mhm.
And it's the next thing to work on.
Mhm.
It's the next thing to overcome. And like you were saying, what I heard you say was that, like, I've been through 365 days of adversity. This is just the next day.
Mhm.
It's like and one of the things I love now about jujitsu is, and martial arts in general, is that I've come to embrace and actually love those
Mm.
moments because when they present, that's the thing I get to work on next. And I know that there's another step up that rung,
Yeah.
up that ladder.
Yeah.
And it becomes like when you get out of this, like, I got to run from everything mentality to facing it and facing the challenge, overcoming the
Yeah.
challenge. It really is something that's it's like, it's very satisfactory,
Yeah.
but it's also like this, it ain't, I don't do soccer. I
Yeah.
never did soccer. I never
Yeah.
did another sport.
Yeah.
It's always been martial arts
Yeah.
for me. So I can't relate it to those things,
Yeah.
but it is for me, it's like that's the black belt
Yeah.
experience. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's 100% transferable. It's
Yeah.
100% transferable. That mindset, you can transfer it to anything. That mindset of getting through the next thing,
Yeah.
you can just transfer it,
Yeah.
right? You never played soccer before, but if you played soccer right now and you went on the field and someone went past you or took the ball from you, you wouldn't sit there and say, "Oh, how did this happen?"
Right.
and throw yourself on the floor.
Right.
It's like when I always tell people, it's like, look, I never judge you for your boogeyman. Everybody has a different boogeyman. There's people that are afraid of paper, right? I'm not afraid of paper, right? But might be some things that I might fear a little bit
That's
that they
right.
don't fear.
That's
I
right.
don't judge you for your boogeyman, but don't make me accept your boogeyman. And that's the big thing in the world that we have going on today. People want you to accept their boogeyman. I don't care about what's going on in the Matrix. I really
Mhm.
don't. I'm
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of it. So whatever you guys are arguing on, whatever you think is ruining the country or the planet or whatever, that's between you guys. Like
Yeah.
I have a job to do here while I'm here,
Yeah.
right? So please don't make me accept your boogeyman, right? And it's like that's what society does. It's like they want you to be fearful. Well, I'm not fearful,
Yeah.
right? What am I supposed to be? What am I afraid of? I want to be here for my kids. I want to be here for my wife and my family, my friends, etc., and do what I do. But it's like I'm not going to walk around being scared because someone's in the White House or someone is in, someone's the new mayor or someone. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Nothing affects my family outside outside of our little house, right? Like now, there's things that happen where we have to react to it, but who is elected this one or who is here doesn't affect what we do. It never has, right? So it's like, but everybody has this boogeyman. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? You're going to live your life.
You know, this is such an interesting topic for me because the classroom is designed, like I said, I purposely design it so that you bump into the things that are scary.
Yeah.
And like when I'm course correcting a person, a lot of times they will try to come back with something to make me feel guilty about
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
course correction.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, you want to enroll me into your boogeyman. Like,
Yeah.
I don't say it like that, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you want your boogeyman to scare me.
Yeah.
And that's not the relationship that you have with a teacher.
Yeah.
It
No.
like, you don't like, look, I paint with a 93-year-old painting master.
Mhm.
I also um, do kung fu with someone I don't even know his age, but he is born well before I
Yeah.
was. You know what I mean? And like I like when they say things and they know, like that's why I have a teacher, right? They know far ahead. They can see me coming a mile away,
Yeah.
and they can see my weaknesses coming
Mhm.
a mile away, and that's why I want them in my life.
Yeah.
Like they know before I know, and I trust them to get me to like face those boogeymen.
Yeah.
And when they do, like my painting teacher Max will be like, I'll spend, I don't know, 15 hours
Mhm.
on a painting
Yeah.
or portion of a painting, and he'll go, that's all wrong, like erase it, like start again, or this whole thing, like redo it. And like like I have so much going into that
Mhm.
like I got to go like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like and but I hold that.
Yeah.
I don't like I go, yes sir.
Yeah.
And Mr. Vizio, like he'll do something that like forces me to hit into it.
Yeah.
And I just go, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, yes, sir. But people really want to make someone feel guilty or bad
Yeah.
for encouraging them to move up the
Sure.
ladder. It's
Yeah.
really so interesting.
But
Like,
you have this obsession of being a student, like I do.
oh yeah,
We're obsessed with being a
oh
student.
yeah.
We're obsessed with being someone that isn't the smartest in the room or isn't the best or isn't
Why
the
pretend?
why pretend,
No.
right? I started playing chess 4 years ago, and I get smoked, absolutely smoked. And one of the best and worst things that I ever got was this chess.com because they have these bots, and the bots start at 500. And then you have 4 bots that are 500. Then they go to 6 and 650 until 7. And when I tell you, Gene, for the last 4 years, my only goal is to beat every bot on that app.
Mm-hmm.
I played one bot. This mother effer's name was Jeremy, right? Not even real. Little red hair, little bitch, right? They used to talk shit to me, like because they had the little things like they'll take your queen, they're like, oh, that's mine, right?
Uh-huh.
I played this bot dude, for a year and 3 months
Yeah.
before I beat him.
Yeah.
Every damn day.
Yeah.
For a year and 3 months.
Yeah.
I beat him at 1:25 in the morning on the couch. I threw my phone and jumped in the air and hit my chest.
Yeah.
Like I just won a UFC
Yeah.
championship.
You did.
I did.
Wait.
And when my wife woke up, I'm like, guess who the fuck I beat today? I was like, Jeremy's punk ass. She was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I'm obsessed with learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're obsessed with learning. Like, and the thing I love about you so much, Gene, is that you can take kung fu from a guy that was probably born around World War I, right? And you have all these martial arts, discipline, black belts, etc. And you're like, well, let me go back and learn this new thing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I love. It's like I love people that are obsessed with that process. Because really it's a process. It's a process of getting better. I love the process of getting better.
It is.
We have a guy that's Wing Chun, world renowned
Yeah.
Wing Chun guy.
Yeah.
He started doing jiu-jitsu at 65 years old.
Yeah.
He goes to seminars and people are bowing before he even gets in the damn building.
Yeah. Yeah.
He started as a white belt.
Yeah.
He's now 71 or something. I think he's a brown belt.
Yeah.
Sifu Chow. And he was showing me like Lap Sao and like,
Yeah,
trapping and stuff. And we're like, he was, I'm way bigger than he is, right? And he's in my guard and he was like, when you trap like, and he's showing me Wing Chun. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, I know trapping, but not like a name to it and like to the
Right.
level that he knows it.
Right.
And so when we get trained, it's not even like we do jujitsu. He be in my open guard and just like we're just trapping our arms back and forth. I'm like, who gets a chance to learn from like a Wing Chun,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
grandmaster, whatever,
because he put himself in
because he
that
put
position.
himself.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, and this guy's a white belt at 65.
yeah.
I said, "Man, this is who I wanna be." I said, "I wanna start learning, Japanese at,
Right,
whatever age and
right.
start trying to play guitar and start doing all these different things and being that beginner," And when I meet people that are obsessed with that process, you can see it's a great separator in your life because there's always something when you wake up, you're like, there's always something to do, right? Like, I always have something, like, I wanna achieve. Like, today when before I came, I have a guy, I never met him in person. His chest name is Morton Winklefish. He's a real
He's
human
not a
being.
bot.
Not a bot, human. I never met him in person. He's from England. We've played over 450 games of chess in the last 4 years. He's the first person that he bet me through another friend. He was like, "Oh, I'll play with you. I'll show you how to play chess." He beat me for a year, and then I drew him. And then after I drew him, now I beat him. Right, we go back and forth. Right, but it took me like almost a year to beat him. Right, but again, we've played. I've never met him in person. We've never had a phone conversation.
Uh-huh,
We played almost 500 games of chess.
uh-huh.
Right, because he was like my Sifu for chess.
Fascinating. It's like the black belt that took you in.
Yeah, it's like great, awesome. So I'm always looking for that. Like, who is that person that I can meet to show me something new that I don't know?
Yeah,
Right? And I can get better at. And I like the process of getting better at it and sucking. Like, I
yeah.
don't mind sucking at something.
Yeah, I come across I've been thinking about this and discussing this a bit, but like, I come across a lot of people that have anxiety.
Mhm,
Now, I've battled anxiety my whole life,
mhm,
like coming from where I came from and all of the different, levels of trauma that
mhm.
that I went through. Like anxiety is something that's very familiar to me. So I want to preface what I'm about to say
Yeah.
is that I'm not I have struggled with it for my entire life.
Mhm,
I'm still facing it.
mhm,
Like I blow like what you were talking about. Like I tend to blow certain things way out of proportion
mhm,
and it makes me very anxious. It's like disproportionate to the circumstance I find myself in.
mhm,
And I've been thinking a lot about like what is it that helped me to work out like these feelings of anxiety
mhm,
and not be stifled, not be paralyzed by them. And it is like I when 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 I suffer from it or when it starts to present itself to me, I think to myself, oh, I'm being lazy mentally.
mm,
And I think that like a lot of I'd be interested to see what you think about this, but like a lot of us we we are out of practice. We're not engaging with life in such a way that we're practicing things and we're out there like starting small
mhm,
at the beginning and having these little challenges that bring us up the ladder. And when we're inactive mentally,
mhm,
that's when all of the neuroses
mhm,
set in, and like, and that's like, I hear that as being your strength. Like
mhm,
that's the thing that like, well, one of the things I'm hearing certainly in this conversation that like you're engaging with your life
mhm,
in such a way that makes you work. Like that's what you're striving for. The work the workingness of it all.
mhm,
Not like you don't strive to sit on the couch and do nothing.
mhm.
You strive to beat, the bot at
Yeah.
1:30 in the
Yeah.
morning. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. I mean, I wake up at 4:20 AM every morning, not because some Navy SEAL told me to do it, not because it's popular. It's because I was walking, into the gym, and there was these 3 older guys, and every time they see me, like, I hit the bag 5 days a week, just because it's good for me to, like, I just feel like it's like I'm in my own world when I hit the bag, right? I went to this gym just 'cause they had a heavy bag. I saw the weights and stuff like that's great. I've seen weights before, but the fact that I had a heavy bag, I can put my music in and I just zone out for however long I hit it, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever it is. And so I would come in at 6 because I thought the gym opened at 5:30. So I would come in at 6. And I used to see these old guys coming out at 6:15. I used to say to myself, why are these cats only lifting for like 15 minutes? These pretty big guys. Like, and one day, one of the guys, guy Pat, he's walking past me. He goes, hey, man, what's your name? And I said, my name's Cornell. And he goes, my name's Pat. I said, nice to meet you, Pat. He goes, I got a question for you. I was like, what? He goes, I see how hard you work when you get in here. He goes, why don't you come here earlier? I go, well, the gym's open at 5:30. I'm here at 6. He goes, the gym's not open at 5:30. He goes, the gym's open at 5. He goes, what, you can't get up? That's all he had to say.
Yeah.
I said, I'll see you fucking old dudes tomorrow, right? Like,
what did that mean to you?
It's a challenge.
Challenge.
Like, oh, you think that you guys can get up and I can't get up?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? This is 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been getting up ever since.
How do you, Cornell, how do you get into that mindset? Like, if you're someone that suffers from anxiety,
yeah,
or you're someone that feels paralyzed, like that seems like a very big hurdle. Like, what's the inception of that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you straddle up to it?
Yeah. You got to throw yourself in it and not forget that you did it, right? And what I mean by that is,
fascinating.
Like, if I wake up that first morning, right, and I go and I see Pat and the guys, and like, oh, because that's what they did. Oh, he's here, right? The next day, I got to remember I already did it.
Yeah.
Right? We have short-term memory, right? We forget all the great things that we've done, right? We forget all the things we've been through. I don't have short-term memory. I knew after that first morning, I was never looking back. I knew I was going to be there every single day. I was going to see those guys every single day, right? And then it got to the point
At 5.
At 5. Got to the point when those guys were 5 minutes late, but your old ass can't get to the gym? I said, would you have bingo last night?
Wow.
Right? Then I start talking shit, right? But that's my mindset. It's like, you just got to do it once. You have crippling anxiety, and you say to yourself, I got to do this one time, and then not forget it.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you did it, right? It's just like jumping out of a plane. You can't jump back in it, right? You jump out of a plane, you're gone. It's not like, oh, wait a second. Nah, shit. You're
do over. I gotta take it back.
Hell no. You're going down.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just got to remember what you did. I remember what I do. Like, I remember I've done it before. I speak in front of thousands of people, right? I was in Proving Grounds, Aberdeen, Maryland, speaking at a bunch of super smart military people. Never spoke to military people before. The week before, I spoke at West Point Military Academy to the swim team, right? That was two talks in a row for the first time I ever talked to anybody in military. I'm not going in there like, what can I help them with? Like, this is military people. I'm not military. I'm a civilian, blah, 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 blah. It's not my mindset. I'm like, oh, they're people. They've been through shit, just like I've been through shit. That's our common ground. So when I go in there, I'm going to share what I share, and they either like it or they don't. It's all good, but I'm going to share it, right? I've done it before. I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times before. What's the difference? Because they have stripes on their shoulder or on their wherever they put the freaking stripes. I'm good. They haven't. I bet you a bunch of them haven't trained jiu-jitsu before. Bet you a bunch of them weren't choked yesterday.
With taco meat in the face.
Yeah, with taco meat.
Right.
You know, you didn't wrestle with Selleck, right? Like I did, right? So I always look at that and I say, man, I've been through so much before. It's like, I'm good. And I love going, like, now these older guys are my guys. Like from the second day I was there, now these are my guys, right? So I love that challenge. I love it. It's like when I first went to, very similar to your story, the first time I went to George's school, I bowed to George. George goes, what the hell are you doing? Right? I said, I'm bow. Cause I did Ishin-Ryu for like, 3 months. You know, I had no idea. I just bow, right? I did kickboxing my last year of college. And I went to find a kickboxing school. The only thing I saw was Ishin-Ryu. So I did Ishin-Ryu. So I we're bowing in. I did for like 6-7 months. I bowed, you bow in. I bowed to George.
For those of you who don't know, Ishin-Ryu is like a traditional karate style. Yeah.
So I'm doing katas and working my horse stance and, So I bowed to George. George looks at me like I have 3 heads. He's like, what the hell are you doing? I said, you don't bow? He goes, no. Hey, I'm George. He shakes my hand, right?
Right.
And so my first class, George isn't there. I did a no-gi class. First time I put on the gi, George is there. And George just goes, hey, roll with this kid. At that time, I'm like 260, right? All I'm doing is lifting and eating. And the kid is like 15, 16. The kid's like, looks like Harry Potter.
Right.
He's like 130 pounds. I'm like, this bitch is just finished playing Quidditch.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to kill this kid. Like, I'm literally going to, because again, my mind, I'm like, I'm a big, I slap hands with this dude, Gene. He triangled me, I want to say, 7,000 times, right? We went 2 rounds in a row, 2 6-minute rounds. He must have tapped me out about 30 times. And the kid was the nicest kid in the world.
Yeah.
He's, oh, it's okay. You just do this. You
Yeah,
just sound
yeah,
like freaking
yeah.
Mickey Mouse,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm sitting there and you feel like demasculated, right? Because for me, like, I was some big athlete.
Totally.
So I'm like, damn, Harry Potter just beat the shit out of me, right? So I get home, my wife was like, how was your first class? I was like, I just got choked out 30 times by Harry Potter. And she didn't believe it.
Yeah.
She goes, there's no way. I said, Melissa, I said, this cat was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Only thing he was missing was the lightning bolt on his forehead. I said, Harry Potter just beat my ass. She goes, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm going back tomorrow. I'm gonna learn this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going after Harry Potter, right? Like, I went after him, Hermione, all his peoples, right? I'm going, because my thing was like, I'm gonna learn this,
Yeah.
right? And I became really good friends with Harry Potter. And like,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
eventually it would show me stuff. Like, this is how you get out of a triangle, right? This is how you don't get in a triangle, you dummy, right?
Right.
But I was excited to like learn and come back, but that's a crossroads. I could have stayed home and been like, nope, I'm good. I don't want to get beat up anymore.
My siblings and I talk about this, like, because of, again, where we came from. Like, it sometimes feels Herculean to just get up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's such a task. It's such a chore just to normalize it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I got to do so much internal work just to face the day.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think a lot of people, like, I have felt like, oh, I don't want any more struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to, I want to coast. I want to, have some like smooth sailing.
Yeah.
And I come to realize that that's a death rattle. Like, that's the bean in the can, that the sound
Yeah.
of your death.
Yeah.
Like, and so what I'm hearing is, like, you have to embrace the challenge.
Yeah.
You have to actively seek it out.
Yeah. You gotta have something there that wakes you up. You have to. Because I always say, when you stop dreaming, you start slowly dying. You gotta have something. Life isn't easy, right? Like, this is hard.
It's hard
right?
stuff.
It's
man.
hard shit.
Yeah.
So you have to have something that's dangling in front of your face. There's gotta be a carrot there that you're pursuing, right? Or you have to have a higher sense of purpose. Like, for me, I know my kids have me, if everything goes good, for maybe another 40 to 50, right? Hopefully I get a chance to see their kids. Hopefully I get whatever it is, right? That carrot is, what am I going to leave behind? My dad left this big legacy behind in a very short time. I got to leave my kids one mentality to survive this jungle. And then anybody I reach, anybody that I talk to, how can I make their life a little bit better today? How can I influence their life? That's why I'm focused on, back in the days when they did Sesame Street, that song, Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood? The people that you meet each day. Those are the people that I'm worried about, the people that I interact with. My interactions, I'm going to make them as positive as possible. To people that want it. There's people that don't want your positivity.
Right.
People are like, fuck you, I don't give what you're smiling for.
Yeah.
Right? But the people that want it, I'm going to make my smile, the cash register person, say hi to the old person, thank you for this person, can I hold the door for you? Those small interactions I can do every single day. So the people in my, radius, people that are around me, I can interact in a positive way. When I go speak, I always say, you guys thank me, I should be thanking you.
Right.
You have no idea what my ride in the car is like when I go home.
Right.
I'm freaking I'm amped up.
Yeah.
Right? I can't wait. So that's my thing. Who can I affect?
How do you reconcile the people that don't appreciate it?
I keep it pushing. I don't give them a second. I don't. It's just me. I don't give them a second. I was in Miami, and we were in this. It's the first time in Miami. I had no idea. Miami is block to block, hood to fancy to hood to fancy.
Yeah.
I had no idea you can drive a half a block.
New York City is that way.
Yeah. But I had no idea, you can drive. I mean, you're in Iraq, right? You just saw a Ferrari yacht. And now you're driving what Rick Ross is talking about, right? And so
a block later.
So I'm driving a block. We go to this laundromat, and this cat open ceiling laundromats, nice out. And I got my clothes. I'm with this other guy, and we're walking. I'm like, get our stuff done. I'm only there for 2 days. This guy's sitting on one of the washers. His brother's sitting on the washer. I'm like, hey, older, mid-40s, whatever. I'm like, hey, what's up? Don't say hi to me. So I smiled. I went to the other wash machine. I put my shit in the wash machine.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and then the guy that was with me, this guy earlier, he goes, "What did that guy say?" I said, "Imagine someone saying hi to you, and that makes you that angry.
Yeah.
So imagine what this cat is going through. He's going through some shit, right? I've never had someone smile at me that made me want to throw anger at them, right? So I can only imagine what he's going through, bro." I said, "It's
It's a
all good."
brilliant point.
Said, "It's all good."
Yeah.
We went, came back. The guy was still there. He didn't look at me. Just kind of had his head down. I got my clothes, got my stuff, and I kept it moving.
How much does jujitsu play into that for you?
It's huge.
Yeah, like you can confront that level of rage
Yeah,
in a
calm way.
in a calm way,
calm way.
right?
Yeah, you're not looking at that as he's threatening my manhood, right? Like
know,
I
man.
gotta be a big tough guy. It's like, bro, okay, it's all good.
The thing I love about it is that, like, if it actually were to go down, you can keep your humanity intact. Jiu-jitsu provides you with such a method
Yeah,
to save even that guy from himself.
yeah. You don't have to kill him.
You don't.
You don't have to kill him.
You don't. But if it's kickboxing or if it's,
He can die.
you're going to have to strike that
Yep.
person.
He can die.
It's all a choice.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen it. We've heard it. Guy gets into a fight. He throws a punch. The guy falls down, hits his curb. The guy's dead. Now you're in Rikers.
Yeah.
Off of what? Off of this guy stepping on your foot? This guy bumping past you in the club? Right? My uncle used to say, "Nothing good happens after midnight."
Yeah.
It was so true. He said it all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens after midnight. Why are you out after midnight? Nothing good happens after midnight. I'm right. I'm thinking about like the Thriller video. I'm like, damn, shit, he's right. I was like, he's right. Like nothing good happens after midnight.
That's
but it's
pretty
like,
funny.
when you're around that, like I don't drink. So like I'm not ever in that. I've never been in those situations where
Right.
like I'm at a bar and everybody's belligerent drunk. Like I like
Right.
having my senses.
Right.
But like sometimes it comes to you. You're not looking for it. It
Yeah.
comes to you.
Yeah.
And you have a situation where you can either confront it in a way where you might be in jail for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
or you can ease past it and be like, yo, it's not that serious, dog. And that jiu-jitsu is like, we have people come at us in jiu-jitsu because in some places your black belt's a target.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I want to get my stripes, right? I'm going to go against this black
That's
belt
right.
really
Make your
hard.
bones, right.
And I pick my bones right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know how to like, I'm cool, bro. Like
Yeah.
we can turn it up if you want,
That
right? But it's
think
cool.
I think that's really the beauty, like, where you get to like at a high. I say at a high level because I have concerns that the jiu-jitsu community has started to promote this, I guess tough guy.
Yeah.
Like I think of it as inhumane,
Yeah.
and sometimes I fall prey to it.
Mhm.
Like sometimes I'm so stressed
Mhm.
that someone will like they'll do something and I become reactive,
Yeah.
right? I don't like it about myself,
Yeah.
but it's true. But at a high level, like you get to go like, yo, man, like it's cool. It's like peace,
Yep.
peace. Like,
Yep.
like like you said, like imagine what that guy's
Good Lord.
going through.
That's all I thought about. I thought about his
Yeah.
day. I said, my man must be going through it.
Yeah.
If I smiled at him, right, and said,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing? And he gave me that, right? It doesn't know me from a can of paint. Like I have a
Yeah.
gun on me. I could have shot him in his
Right,
face.
right.
Could have shot
right.
me in my face, right?
Right.
Like it's
Running
like,
some sort of scam, right?
yeah,
Who
there's
knows, right?
there's something going on. So I look at it in terms of reactive in jiu-jitsu is like sometimes you roll with someone, and like you said, like part of you just being a normal human being, because we're still human, right? We're like, okay, chill, like you have to chill out for a second, or we're gonna turn it up a little bit. Like, or you
Yeah.
find yourself doing something a little harder than you would do it,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, you have to get yourself back.
Yeah.
All right, let me calm down.
Thank you for listening to the Gentle Art Podcast. Please share, rate, and review. And if you have any questions or you'd like to reach out, please contact us at the GentleArtPodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or thegentleartpodcast.com.